Good enactment. I actually agree with the same sentiment what you said. That building on 4th and Madison, travesty was sitting there vacant and it's an eyesore. As a matter of fact, I think actually our economic development director, Steve Ryan, is here, and Steve, if you could do a little insight on tax abatements as well, and what the benefit to the town is actually, I'd appreciate that.
I just wanted to add, Mr. Mayor, if you don't mind, that we're knocking ourselves out trying to bring in other businesses, and we're trying to be innovative. We're looking everywhere. Here we have two buildings that are claiming that they're not going to be able to finish their projects without our help. So
it's not just a matter of the developer or the building either. A lot of times it's the businesses that are going into that building that benefit from those tax abatements. 22 years ago, I was lucky enough to get into a building that had one, and that was really the difference between starting out a business and being able to afford the rent in the space I needed to grow into, as opposed to really just getting into something I could barely afford. So I've always been very much in favor of these abatements because of the businesses they help, not necessarily the developers, but it's the businesses that go into these buildings that are the ultimate recipients of these abatements, and that's what really was trying to do.
Yes.
If I may, if anybody would look into this ordinance, the ordinance lays out very clearly the mechanics of the abatement. And the abatement it's a central point. It's really the only real direct economic incentive that we have to attract businesses to come here, to get people to build. This is not an environment in which you have a lot of commercial building happening, and quite honestly, for people to claim they'll do it anyway is disingenuous. If they do it, they're going to do it where the most incentives are. Lakewood brings a set of different incentives, soft incentives, but in terms of hard, real dollars, this is our key widget, if you will. It's the only arrow in our quiver, and we need to use it. We need to attract more and more companies to come. There's a process that goes through. Not everybody qualifies for an abatement, and I think it's important that people understand it's not an exemption. It's an abatement. It's a 5-year program. The first year, 0 tax. The second year, 20%.
0 tax.
What's that?
0 tax?
0 tax on the improvement.
But the property tax is for the land?
Land is always paid. It's only on the improvement. And in fact, if someone was to take an existing building and add to it for that new piece, they could also qualify for the abatement if they also were in the right zone. There are zones within the town that are eligible. There are zones that are not eligible.
Is the town losing anything that is getting up and coming?
Not at all. On the contrary, this is the way to attract new revenues into the town. And we need commercial ratables. So I think as a general rule, first of all, it's important to understand that every one of these applications gets reviewed by myself and others in the Economic Development Department. It's also reviewed by our tax assessor. It's an exhaustive process before we go out and recommend that these be granted. And they are granted where we expect that it's necessary to bring the businesses to the town. It means jobs, it means ratables. It's critical to our town. And I will tell you, for anybody who's not aware of it, spend some time in our industrial parks. We have poachers from down south that are out there knocking on doors trying to attract people, dangling all kinds of incentives for them to move, say, either other places in the state or more to some southern states. And it's difficult to compete. And if somebody is so inclined as to bring business to Lakewood, new business, new ratables, new economic growth, this is a very simple thing for us to do. I urge you strongly to not move away from this. This is not even penny-wise, pound-foolish. This is to deny an application like this with the jobs and the revenue that these things are going to bring. It's counterculture to what Lakewood is going out and saying, which is we are friendly to business.
Thank you very much. If you could just stand here in case there's any comments from the public, there's any questions, since you're both knowledgeable on the subject you have to answer. So we'll open the podium now to the public, if anyone wants to be heard. Thank you. Address your message.
Herskowitz, 1496 Cedar Row. First of all, I just want to say that the ceremony this evening was very moving. You did a wonderful job there, and I feel bad bringing this up after such a moving ceremony. But it seems that you guys always pick the right times to bring these issues to the front. First of all, both of these properties, neither of them were attracted here to Lakewood, as Mr. Ryman proposes. They were built because somebody had a piece of land and wanted to make money with that land. That's not something that you get a tax abatement for. Tax abatements are usually given for something that is bringing something to the town that isn't here already. We have hundreds of empty commercial spaces in Lakewood and surrounding areas. Commercial real estate is dead for the next 20 years. to give a tax abatement just because somebody found themselves having a hard time building something is not the norm. The norm is to give a tax abatement when somebody comes and says, you know what, there's a distressed area of town that's crime-ridden, falling apart, and an eyesore, and you fix that area up. That is when you give a tax abatement. Now, I mean, I don't mean to sound like sour grapes, but I didn't have the Jewish word chutzpah, right? I took a crack house across the street. I was paying $2,000 a year taxes on a crack house. I took it and I made it into something that I believe is something the township could be proud of. And I now pay $15,000 a year in taxes on that thing. It was making a lot more money as a crack house than a toy store. Okay? Now, I didn't have the guts to ask the town for... I did not have the guts to ask for a tax abatement on that house. I don't see how these guys should have the guts to ask for a tax abatement on two eyesores. These are, you put a strip mall in the middle of a residential area. That is not something that you can be proud of. And Mr. Penzer, I would like to know what bookstore you're talking about that's moving there, because there is a bookstore already there that has a bookstore already here in the downtown. He's just opening a second location. That's not called bringing in business into the town. Making a second business, and the market, the anchor market that's going to be in there, already has two markets in the area. So it's just a third market.
It's for quiet, let me speak.
I want to know which
time to
bookstore.
speak.
Is it a Christian bookstore or is Barnes & Noble? Which bookstore is moving in there? Because there is a Judaic bookstore in there already. Which bookstore? You don't know? Okay. So Mr. Penzer doesn't know which bookstore, so he obviously just either fabricated that or I don't know where he got that from. Again, this is not something that normally towns give tax abatements for. You don't just because a guy cries. Now, as far as you say that the Fourth Amendment building has been empty, it hasn't been empty that long. It's been in the middle of being built. It's still in the process of being built. They ran into some problems with building it. And there's one simple solution if they can't finish building it. It's called a wrecking ball, which is, I think, what should be done with that building. Because 10 years ago, if I would have owned that property, or someone else would have owned that property and put a 6-foot fence over there, they would have been told to take it down. And the only reason that building went up was because certain people got their hands on the master plan, and they changed the zoning in this town. So, again, if that building can't be built, it's a shame, but there is a solution. It's called a wrecking ball. It's just simple. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, Mr. Herskowitz. Mr. Ryman, if there's anything as a economic development, Mr. Ryman, if there's anything you can elucidate on this issue?
Just a point of information.
Sure.
Most of these abatements are calculated into the initial plan before they ever come to build. This is not somebody who's coming in distress at the end and saying, I can't make it happen at the end. Not that that can't happen, but that's not typically the case. Typically the case is right up in front when they're assessing what the opportunity is, what it's going to cost them to build. They're looking at the overall economic picture, and a tax abatement is the discussion from the get-go. So if the town is going to take an anti-business approach and say, no, we don't want you to come here. Don't come here looking for abatements at the end of your process, or don't come here talking to us at the front end. That's one thing. But as long as the town is pro-business, I think they need to.
Thank you very much. Mr. Penzer, here's one more. Mr. Penzer, I'll give you the opportunity with some allegations that were made. I just want to know if you had anything to elucidate on that as well.
I'm sorry?
There were some allegations that were previously made. If you could just clarify them.
There is a bookstore, and the bookstore is from New York, and he calls me from New York. I don't know what he's talking about, Christian, and that happens to be a Hebrew bookstore, but they have not moved in, and he keeps calling me. Fine. I'm not going to argue Mr. Herskowitz. I'm not going to dignify. I'm not being cross-examined. I can tell you that a bookstore has called me. He calls me constantly and told me that that was a factor of him coming to Lakewood. If Mr. Herskowitz doesn't like it, I can't satisfy that. I can just tell you. I refuse to be cross-examined by anyone for a client. My client has a tenant, and the tenant calls me constantly, and that's my representation to this board. If Mr. Herskowitz doesn't like it, I apologize to him.
Thank you.
That's a fact of life.
Thank you. Noreen?
Noreen Wilbur, 92 Coventry Drive. Honestly, I'm really objecting to Mr. Penzer not giving the name or address of a company that we're willing to give a tax abatement to. There are so many empty stores in Lakewood, in shopping centers. Why are they not used first and we give them a tax abatement? I'm sorry, but we have too many abatements here. Theoretically, they said, oh, well, it's going to help Lakewood. Well, show me. Show me this. Show me that my taxes are going to go down next year. Look at the industrial park. I worked there in 1972. Look at what it is now. I'm sorry, but I don't agree with this. I think we have a lot of work to do here in Lakewood. We've set a precedent, and I don't want to be the bad guy. I want to see new business coming in here, but I don't want to see this town raped.
Thank you very much, Maureen. If I could just call upon our Executive Director of Development in town again. For a moment again, just to please elucidate us on this.
Well, just for Mrs. Gill and other people who may not know it, we cannot grant abatements for people to move into existing buildings. Those buildings are on the tax roll, they're paying us. For us to abate those taxes would actually be rolling back the revenues of this town, and it would be the worst thing we can do. What we're trying to do is encourage people to build, to bring new things, and that's the idea, that's the statute. It's not something that is a whim of this body here. So they're using the 5-year tax abatement, they're not going outside the standard and rules of the abatements, and it's all about new development, not the old. Sorry.
Thank you.
Joyce, I am Jamie Z. Hughes, 1594 Quincy Road, Toms River, New Jersey. Sorry, is that any better? Well, if you talk into it. How's that? Yeah. Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I have 2 questions. The first is, would the committee kindly provide the percentage of taxes that were collected in 2010? And the second question is if you would kindly also provide the year-end surplus for 2010.
Unfortunately, that's not really heard on this reading, on this item, but actually...
It is related to the ordinance because you are going to lose revenue, so I'm asking if you have the surplus.
We're not losing revenue. We are absolutely not losing what we've had until now. And if I could just have Mr. Lyman again, please explain this to us, how it abatement works. That's misinformation. I'd like to clarify that.
Mayor Miller, when you say you're not losing revenue, would you kindly, for the purposes of, explain exactly, again, what a tax abatement is?
That's exactly what Mr. Lyman is going to explain to you right now. Mr. Lyman, please.
I'm sorry,
Thank you. Mr. Lyman is our Executive Director of Development.
And also Yo-Yo. The abatement again is, the abatement is designed, once the tax rate is set, once the tax amount for the rateable is set, if it's $100,000 a year, then in the first year after completion, you can read it, it's in the ordinance here, after completion, in the first year after completion, that property for the improvement, if that represents $100,000 in taxes for the improvement, the building, if you will, they will pay 0. The second year, they will pay $20,000. The third year, $40,000, $60,000, $80,000, until they're at $100,000, and then they pay full tax from that point forward. So it's an inaccuracy to say we are losing revenue. This is revenue. I'm going to explain.
Okay.
It's because this revenue did not exist before. The example I gave before, if we were to grant abatements for existing buildings and actually roll back the revenue that we were going to collect, that would be losing revenue. This is creating revenue. This is economic development. This is what you have to do to do business and have it grow.
And my question to Mr. Lyman again, is any amount that the township has been collecting on that property in previous years, is that going down? Are we losing? Are we getting any less money on that property?
You could not possibly.
Thank you.
Excuse me, I apologize, but would the township manager kindly answer the other 2 questions that I had? The first is, the township has to undergo an audit at year-end.
We don't have that information downstairs, but I asked the manager to provide it to you.
I'm sorry?
We don't have that information downstairs.
You don't have the audit result?
You have my ID.
I don't know, never hurts to ask, right?
I will have the manager get that information.
Would you also,
That's not the